Welcome to the highest converting funnels for motivated buyers and sellers. I'll get right into it, so let me share my screen with you. Let's do that here and here. Okay, you should see my screen by now. And as I said, welcome to the highest converting funnels for motivated buyers and sellers. My name is Klaus Sinn, and I'm a full-time realtor since almost 30 years and have sold pretty much everything from foreclosures to multi-million-dollar waterfront homes, commercial properties in different states, like an office building in Houston, a super Walmart development center in St. Petersburg, and really closed more than 1,000 transactions as a single agent. My career took off pretty quickly, but not because I'm smarter than you, but because I got in the boat with the right people at the very beginning, like Greg Proctor, who was the #1 agent of Remax in Canada and #2 in the world, or Brian Moses, who made it #2 Coldwell banker in the world, only missed it by 2 transactions, and later became a coach. Really nice guy. Michael Reese, Jay Kinder, who later founded NAEA, the National Association of Expert Advisors. And, oops, so while we went our own ways, we kept collaborating and sharing experiences. And we realized sooner or later that we all run into the same problems along the way, right? Whether it was health issues, relationship problems, or financial growing pains. And we were all looking for better ways, right? And everything sort of fell in place in 2017, 2018, which was almost 20 years later after we met the first time at the Greg Proctor coaching seminar. And in 2017 and 18, we all partnered up and we joined a movement that would change the real estate industry forever. And as a result, the Freedom Team was born. And the goal was simple: collaborating, sharing, and supporting each other without extra cost or charging each other or having referral fees or any stuff like that. We wanted to move everyone from the transactional business model where you have to do everything yourself. I mean, from lead generation to transaction coordination, putting signs up. If you're a single agent, you know what I'm talking about, right? So sooner or later, you're going to burn out. And if a problem comes up, you're stuck. If your mouth isn't moving, then nothing is going to happen. So we want to move everybody from the transactional business model to the leveraged business model where you are less subject to those changes, like your health or the economy or whatever comes along. And something is always coming along, I guarantee you. I had my fair share of it. So when other agents saw what we were doing, they realized that business actually can be much easier. So in 2024, we had 423 new agent partners joined our group, and we closed 12,492 transactions with over $4.3 billion in volume. So at our last Zoom call, I talked about a lot of things we were doing and how we scale with systems and procedures and all the stuff we do today. I won't get into that, and I want to focus solely on those highest converting lead funnels that are working today and giving us the biggest bang for the bucks, right? Because at the end of the day, it all starts with lead generation. Even if you are a brand new agent, don't have a clue about what you're doing. If you have leads coming in every single day, like clockwork, I mean, the chances you'll have no closings are pretty much very minor. You will have closings. On the other hand, you can be the most educated agent with dozens of designations, CRA, SIPs, and what do I know? I think if you do not have a good performing system set up for constant lead generation and follow up and conversion, you will always struggle and even fail. My son always says, ignorance on fire beats knowledge on ice any day, and the proof is in the pudding. I think while transactions have dropped nationwide by almost 40% since 2021, our partners have significantly increased their transaction volume. And my goal today is to show you exactly how they did it and if you're looking to generate more deals online, one thing I can tell you right now is there are a lot of things that are working today, and they're working very well, but it all comes down to one thing. There are only four ways to grow your business is to increase the number of clients, which is lead generation, right? Number two is to increase the amount of profits per client. Number three, to increase the number of referrals per client, which leads back to number one, right? Lead generation. And number four is to increase the number of productive agents, which if you have a team or you're a broker, and which again goes back to number one, lead generation, because without leads, nothing is going to happen, right? You need to have a lead generation conversion program that works, and what we call converting lead funnels, right? So let's dive right into it. And if you stay until the end, I will offer you to create a plan for you for free, no strings attached, to move your business to the next level. Regardless where are you today, you may be a solo agent, have no business and struggling, you may be a team leader or a broker, you want to grow and are stuck. I'll help you with it. I create a plan for you and it's going to be for free, right? And to show you that this is not just fluff, I mean, you will hear from some of our partners I was mentioning in the ad, and the ad that brought you here. I'll be quick, I'll be precise, and feel free to take some screenshots, right? Just copy it and use it. So the secret formula is what we use religiously to build any funnels, and we check every box before we publish it, because we want that the money we spend is working, right? And everybody should hear, it starts with a target market, right? Everybody here should have a target market. A target market is knowing who you are targeting is always what we start with building a funnel. That could be homeowners, investors, tenants, a specific profession, and we call it the audience. And the next one is your traffic. Where is it going? Where are we going to find the traffic, right? That's a super important thing, and we need to know where we find it before we put that in place. Then we need an offer. What bait are we going to use to attract that target market so that they take action? And lastly, when those leads are coming in, how are we going to convert them into a client, right? That's super important that we have all this worked out before we launch anything. Now, on the target market, when I started, one of the first things was we didn't have internet, right? We didn't have email. We didn't have all of that. The broker said, well, here's a phone book. Put a pin in it and start calling. Well, that is not a high commercial intent. That's just people where you have a phone number from. You don't even know if they're homeowners. A highest commercial intent target is somebody who already expressed a certain interest. It's now business. I can give you an example for that. An example would be an expired. An expired already showed you, hey, we want to sell our house, but it didn't happen. A FISBO, for example, a FISBO already showed you, hey, we want to sell our house. Well, we just haven't chosen an agent. We tried on our own. But that is what's called a high commercial intent. So the next one is your traffic. Well, in our case here, we want to use really the least amount of money for the biggest bang. And there's Google search and there's social media. There's a few others, but those two are really what it all starts with, right? And then we go to the offer. What baits are we going to use? Well, on the buyer side, we have selection and affordability. Now, selection simply means we'll put in front of them what's out there, but we're not just saying, well, here's the MLS, look for properties. We're pretty selective on what we're looking for. So, for example, we maybe attract them with new construction, right? Or we maybe attract them with waterfront, or we maybe attract them with acreages. Whatever it is, we specialize in, or our partner agent is specializing in. And the second thing is affordability to buyers. So some buyers, they don't start with selection. They start with, hey, I want to know how much I qualify for, how much house can I even afford, right? And then on the seller side, it's time and ease and money for sellers. Well, with time and ease, it's very simple. Every time we put an ad out that has a time attached, the response is much, much larger than if it does not have a time attached. What do I mean with that? Um, let's in your marketplace, I'm pretty sure you have seen ads like your home sold guaranteed, right? Now that's a good offer, but if you say your home sold guaranteed in 30 days, that's a much better offer, and the response rate goes through the roof. Uh, Cash offer for your home. Well, yes, cool. How about a cash offer today or a cash offer instantly for your home? Every time there's a time attached, that means you get a better response rate, right? Now, the second thing is money for sellers. Well, as I said, cash offer or multiple cash offers like what we do right now, whenever you can have a response from somebody who responds to a cash offer or an instant cash offer, this is a motivated person, very motivated, right? Because they want to know, hey, how much can I get for my house? And with that number, they're already in their mind. What can I buy next? Their mind is already moving on. So the right offer is what you need to attract the target market. And then when the leads come in, you need to follow up with them and you need to retarget them, right? A lot of agents, they have databases with hundreds or even thousands of leads in there or clients in there or past clients or sphere of influence and do absolutely nothing with it. It's dead capital sitting there unused. And that's just kind of a nightmare. I mean, they pay Zillow, they pay Realtor.com a lot of money. I just read yesterday that the average cost for one Zillow lead, depending on the area where you are, is between $138 and $280. Well, think about it. One lead, $130 to $280. And you maybe don't realize that because you don't pay per lead. Usually you pay, well, it depends where you are, but many times you subscribe, you have a monthly expense, but that's what it comes down to. So now let's talk about your audiences, right? With your audience is pretty much your target market. We call them the audience. And it starts with the cold audience. The cold audience are strangers in your target market. These are people who don't know you, and the goal of the campaign is to make them a primary offer that creates enough curiosity to learn more about us. Good marketing creates curiosity and moves the audience to the next stage. And it simply means the audience says, well, let me know how that works. Good marketing always makes the audience to say, how does that work? What is it? And the moment they engage with the ad, that means they become a warm audience. They engage with your ad, with your website, with your social media pages. Then we have a way to retarget them, right? We don't even need their phone number or their email address. They just need to engage, that's all. And the next step is the leads. The cold audience is not lead. The cold audience is simply a target market. The warm audience is not even a lead either. They're just engaged with an ad. You do not know where they are. The leads is when the warm audience becomes to give you contact information. At this point, they actually become a real lead. They have given us their contact information and permission to follow up and have been moved into your CRM database for automatic and direct follow-up, right? At this point, actually your phone should ring. And at this point, they are either advancing in the process towards the sale and become a hot lead, or they go in an automatic nurture sequence. So anytime we got a lead going into permission-based follow-up, they can then self-select so we can determine timing and motivation. And motivation is timing. So if somebody wants to do something sooner than later, then they're motivated, right? And they need immediate attention. So while the rest of the audience that is not hot will be moved into the nurture campaign until they either become a hot lead or they opt out, which is fine too. Typically, when you're trying to convince a stranger to start doing business with you, you have to start getting their interest by understanding what are their desires, the problems they have. Then you want to leverage proof, samples, and demonstration. And you never can have too much demonstration. And obviously, some leads will never act, and that is totally fine as well, right? So let's look how that looks in practice, right? So one of the first things I want you guys to check out is our waterfront funnel. Like I said, the presentation will be really quick and to the point. I'm going to give you exactly what I promised to give you, which is the funnels that are working, and they're working very well right now. Like this waterfront funnel. We launched one in Tampa, we launched one in Savannah. Everywhere where you have waterfront properties, this is an actual frame shot for a campaign that the numbers are pretty similar to other markets as well. This one here is in North Palm Beach, actually very close to me, by an agent, partner agent of us. And we have people who run these ads in Florida, in New Jersey, in Virginia. I believe it's Virginia Beach area, all different types of places. Waterfront could be inland water, could be lake, intracoastal canal. And this is what you're going to spend, right? So it's $3 is the cost per lead. $3. That was the cost in this campaign, $2.93 to be exact. And we reached 383 people, 383 results out of that campaign. The conversion rate was 1%, which brings us to a customer acquisition cost of $300. Now, this cost will differ in different markets, and the audiences, especially sellers acquisition costs, tend to be higher, but $300 is about the average we see for these waterfront buyers. Now, we will run this through the cold traffic in the area. Remember, these audiences are the cold traffic, people who don't know who you are. Our goal is to get the cold traffic warm them up to the point where they know and they trust us as somebody we can actually help them. And now that we earned their trust, we are now going to impress on them, right? So the audiences we fed the AI machine are people who had interest in Realtor.com and FISBOs and home equity loans, TuliaHomes.com, and so on, right? And we went on after they clicked on it. Now we retarget them, right? We retarget them. They become warm traffic. They engaged with us. It could be through different Instagram stories. Maybe we're shooting some ads and promoting a specific property, and we're promoting that on Instagram, and then our website visitors. Again, this is to our warm audience. These are the people who engaged with us, clicked on something. We will retarget them with a secondary offer. And if the person is nowhere near water, but they see this again, you're gonna get this impression. Remember, when you convert online, every time you stack an offer, you start lowering your cost basis to acquire a customer because you have all these audiences. And so what we do is we build up kind of a primary offer, a primary funnel, and then we start layering different offers based on the goals of the agent that we are working with. And then that traffic can come from anywhere, right? Your engagement page, Instagram, your website. And as soon as they do, we retarget them with a secondary offer, right? In this case, we offer them our list of all the new and best deals for oceanfront condos that became available. So let's take a look how that looked in real life. This is what the ad looked like. And one thing I want to point out is we are using a lead form instead of landing pages or just ads, right? There's a big difference between a Facebook ad and a Facebook lead form. And the reason why this is so important is that the lead form is native to Facebook. And what that means is, so with the tool that we use, all of the information is directly pulled into our CRM. It creates a workflow and it creates engagement right out of the CRM, which starts texting and emailing, leaving voicemails. But that all adds to the consumer experience. I want to point this out. The consumer's experience is really a click of the button. They see the offer and they are curious. They will click on learn more. And what shows up next is a short questionnaire that determines motivation and timing. The contact information will automatically populate it here from their profile and submit it into our CRM. They don't have to do anything. We thank them and we give them access to view oceanfront condos. And that's why they came here for. They clicked on view the condos and land on your IDX site. So for a lot of us, that KB core, whether it's Bold, Tiger Leads, Commissions Inc., it really doesn't matter. Your website, anywhere where you have a buyer search, we're going to have a dedicated page that's going to be preset and have these properties display. So let's summarize. They clicked on learn more on the ad. Then they click next twice and boom, they land on your beautiful IDX site where they can look at homes. You already get their contact information. Usually your phone is ringing by now because you gotten a new lead, right? So what most agents do, if they do something at all, is they place an ad without taking advantage of AI, which then directs them to a landing page, and conversion from there is very marginal, very marginal. So, however, if you're in Facebook, you need to understand that there's actually billions of dollars being spent. And whether it's from Zillow or other marketing to people who buy or sell, Facebook has that information and they do have AI. And so their AI knows based upon success rate of the other people's campaigns, because so many marketers are going to put pixels on their sites. And so in return, it does make the system smarter over time. And so what's going to happen is this is going to start to see different engagements and it's going to see what you are trying to do. And it ultimately, it's going to optimize it, right? It's going to optimize to collect leads for you. The algorithm will give you what you ask for, but it's most important that you tell the system what your objective is, right? So when you hit that campaign objective, you want to make sure that you're choosing lead generation. So AI actually kicks in. And unlike landing pages, lead ads repopulate with all the correct contact information, right? That's very important. So no more Mickey Mouse, Donald Ducks. You have much less of that. You have typically people with the correct contact information because it's pulled directly from their Facebook profile. So once they contact us, that's where the magic of automation happens. That's where we start hitting them with our secondary offer. And you can see right inside of our system here, we put these people in an opportunity pipeline. We have our conversation inbox here, and where all of the people who reacted, email, texted, they are all coming into one place where we can manage them, we can engage with them, and we can again determine timing and motivation and can put them in the right follow-up sequence based on where they are. In this scenario here, which is Michelle's campaign in Palm Beach, what you will see here is we deliver them a primary offer and we got an inquiry, right? And looking for a 2-bedroom in Singer Island. And then you see we made them a secondary offer, right? And again, you can make them the secondary offer via all sort of channels. Via chat, you can retarget them. You can retarget them through chat, which is a preferred method. We will show you in a second. And all that happens without any of her involvement, right? So in this scenario here, 46% of this campaign contacted us. That's a huge success. Now, all the others who did not contact you, they will still be retargeted. They can still contact you at a later time. You know, not everybody buys tomorrow. You never know how long it takes. You know, a lot of times you see motivated people, they move really fast. And if you are not really responsive on a Saturday or a Sunday, 34% of times homes are on the market on weekends. You could potentially running into a problem having that lead decay because leads do decay over time. So responsive follow-up campaign is crucial. Now, another funnel that is beyond hard is the new construction funnel. The math is simple, right? $3 per lead. I think it's 364 here. So $3. Got 177 leads out of that campaign, 1.5% conversion rate. It's higher on new construction. And the customer acquisition cost $200, totally doable. We got a guy, Blake, don't remember his last name right now, but Blake started this and in 30 days, he had 5 deals under contract from this exact funnel. Linda Dale, she put a deal under contract on day 6. Tons of people who run this campaign successfully, and it's pretty cool actually. So we started same way. Primary offer, selection of new construction, access to all the new construction properties in your area. We're going after cold traffic, most universal lead generation. And again, everybody who is on here, I'm gonna be able to offer anybody the opportunity to set up any of those funnels for you. And if you want something like this set up, I'm going to share this with you how we can do that. We have a bunch of different ways to get these set up. We even have a way where I can do that and not charge you a dime for it. Again, we're going to go over all of that if you stay to the end. We're almost there. And as I said, we're going to be quick and clear and precise. And so just hang in with me a few more minutes, right? So as soon as they engage, we hit them with our secondary offer, which is affordability and access to one-page docs with all the builder incentives and warm traffic retargeting conversion, right? So let's break this down. They see the new construction and they click on learn more, right? They determine their timing, motivation, and they click next. And the Facebook automatically imports their information. And now they get the link to see all the new construction properties in their area, exactly what they were looking for. And when they click on view, well, they land on your beautiful design custom webpage. This is Steven's page at Silicon Valley, but everybody gets the point, right? So, and at this point, our CRM automatically moves them into the pipeline, into the new lead stage. Again, we're going to hit them with our automatic follow-up campaign. Our phone is going to ring. We're going to text. We're going to email them, all fully automated. And then we retarget them with incentives through Messenger, right? Listen to Wood's campaign. That's one of the retargetings we did.
If you're thinking about buying a new construction property in Frisco right now, paper can help you save up to $20,000. I'm Woods Davis.
Right? So and when leads engage through Messenger, again, our Messenger is linked to our CRM. So all of our communication, all text and emails, anything that's coming in is compiled into one place. So you can interact at any time they respond, all on one app. We send them an offer. They either respond or they don't. They're already in the pipeline. We're going to offer them time frame, area, realtor. We're asking them different questions for engagement, including a voice message to get the appointment. And then again, we are retargeting them until they either engage or opt out. Either way is fine. Now, let's talk about my favorite funnel. Call it the cash offer funnel. And that actually has changed quite a bit since the last call, because we finished our beta version of what we call the multi-offer funnel. So, but let's talk about the basics first. Let's talk about the seller funnel, the cash offer funnel, guys. I believe this is truly an opportunity right now, but the market has slowed down, and I think it will be an opportunity for quite some time. The cash offer funnel is really simple. Here's the math. We start with the numbers. We have a higher cost per lead. It's about $13 a lead, which is still a discount. We had as much as $75 per lead. But let me point out one thing. If I generated 10 of those leads, 4 of them are going to be a deal that I'm buying or my investors are buying, putting them on the market. And that's based on my experience. Now, this isn't interruption marketing. This is somebody who would actually be out there who wants to sell their home fast and then retargeting them. This ad that we're showing you here was great on Facebook. This one had a conversion rate of 2%, which leads to a customer acquisition cost of $650. So what I tell people, the cash conversion cycle is when you spend $1, how long does it take to get that dollar back? And one of the shortest conversion cycle you can get is on a motivated seller, because you can find that property and you can typically, if it's a good deal, you can give it to a buyer who is not subject to financing. You can usually find a strong buyer who can buy that home. And a lot of time you can find an investor who may does not want to keep the property and he will release the property with you. Actually, early in my career, the majority of my deals was working with a few investors who bought all the homes I provided them with. And I relisted them after they fixed them up, right? So I almost did double dipping. Well, I shouldn't say double because you have to give them a deal as well, but you got more than just one-sided. And the great things about this offer, we have done another training on offline and online marketing, but I'm not getting into this right now. However, you can run this offer online and offline. Doesn't really matter. One of the few of them, right? So it looks very simple. The branded version of that funnel, here we're using express offers. Now they enter, it's like Zillow, OfferPad, and any others. They enter their address and we take it from there, right? Open Doors, OfferPad, Zillow, they all do the same thing. We take them to a list of questions. Are you the owner? Verify some of your property information, and they land on your calendar. This is an individual who wants to talk specifically about getting their home sold fast. And typically what they really want to know is what would what could you offer them in the event they would sell it to you? The great thing about this is the thing that I really love about this offer is the script. I hate scripts, but they're necessary, and this script is super easy. People call you up, hey man, I saw your express offer. How does that work? Well, it works exactly like it sounds. That's the script. But the caveat is that you have to be able to take a look at the property, right? And some obviously homes don't qualify. So I always let them know the details up front. So if their home doesn't qualify because of the price point, let them know right out the gate. You can still make an appointment. We have it done hundreds of times. And why wouldn't they qualify? Well, look, where in my market, the left side of the intercoastal, you have homes from 300,000 to a million, roughly. On the right side of the intercoastal, that means I can walk over there. We have them from, well, I don't even know if there is a $1 million home, millions of dollars to up to, I think the highest sale was $185 million. So obviously, I cannot get him an offer, cash offer on 185 million, guarantee him a cash offer on a $185 million home, or even on a $50 million home. That's a different story. But everything up to 5 million, and usually lot size up to 5 acres, we can make them a cash offer. Now, they just want to know a little bit more, right? And as you know, I always say good marketing, as I said before, makes the consumer say, how does this work? So when they call you, I mean, the leads generated, they want to know how that works. Now, if you can't make these offers, I would challenge you to look at companies like Express Offers. And for some of you who have access to that, some of you who don't, and if you're an independent broker, might have access to something different. You may have an investor network you can use that you can put together, or you can leverage Open Door. They'll make offers. Listen, I told people if I would be running this funnel right now, my USP would be, hey, receive multiple offers within 48 hours instantly. And the reason why I could make that, I would be the conduit to all these other offer platforms where I would help the homeowner submit the property after they sign a listing agreement with me. Where at least I get paid in the event if I can help them getting an offer from one of those platforms. Now, if they didn't want to accept one of those offers, obviously I have a fiduciary relationship responsibility to let them know what an owner-occupant would pay. So once I went over this program with them and I saw their home and I went over the different numbers with them, I then would present them with an alternative options. And typically what I found is they would rather sell to an owner-occupant, especially if there's something like, carpet or roof or something where in your market you can place the work to a vendor who would not charge them anything until the closing, right? So by doing a needs analysis for each individual, finding what their motivation is, what's going on, again, we do the same. And it gets even better. Our new multi-offer program, that's what I mentioned before. We just finished the beta on that. It does all that for you. You can offer anyone instant, multiple offers, 5 offers within 30 seconds. And I have done that many times now. Tell me, what would that do to your listing presentation if you walk in the door to take a listing and you can show the owner, listen, got already 5 offers for you. Here they are. That helps us creating a baseline, right? It's amazing. You have no idea. I think technology is unbelievable. So with that said, the follow-up campaign on seller cash offers 49%, 49% of the people actually texted us on this offer. That's huge. That's like half of all these people texted or emailed us. And it's the same sequence, whether they look at the waterfront or new construction ad, an instant cash offer. We have 15 other funnels ready or even more. It doesn't matter. It depends what your market is. That's how we create the offer. Now, if you speak Spanish or you have somebody on your team who speaks Spanish, you need to show it to them. Because, man, talking about low-hanging fruits, Spanish conversion is crazy. Cost per lead, $2.70. We have 750 results on that. We have an agent partner, Lily. She worked part-time and she was afraid to go full-time for the simple reason that she didn't have enough business. And when she started with us, we set up that funnel. Within 30 days, she had more under contract than she can make in an entire year in her main job. So I mean, it's obviously very clear that she's not in her main job anymore. She's actually doing so well. She's following our business model to expand and move from that transactional model over to a business model where she gets some more freedom and security, right? I think I think we could do that even in other languages, but right now Spanish is ready to go. So let me ask you a question. If my team was willing to help you create a plan to build and launch a funnel, would you want their help? For those of you who said yes, well, why would you? So now for the good news and the bad news. Let's start with the bad news. The right funnel will make your phone ring, period. But do you mind your phone ringing if it were for qualified buyers and sellers looking for an agent? So for those of you who want to start generating business consistently every week, here's the good news. Whether you're a new agent, or you want to build a team, or you want to expand in other markets, right? We can help you. In fact, what if I said my team and I could just build you a funnel, literally write the ad for you, set up the campaign, build out all the follow-up systems, everything you need to turn on leads in your business, like turning on a water faucet. Imagine if every lead was put into a proven contacting campaign, engaging them by calling, texting, and emailing them every single day. Want more listings? We have a funnel for that. Want to build a team? Well, how many leads will you need? Imagine having access to everything you need. You need to get back on track to hit your goals for 2025? Well, we got you. Want to take over a farm? Not a problem. Let us build a hyper-targeted custom audience for you. Want luxury buyers or sellers? Let us help building it for you. Imagine no more guesswork. Instantly having access to every system, tool, process we ever created for our businesses. And if that's not enough, imagine if we did all this and never charged you a dime. The result would be instant growth, right? You would never have priority confusion. You would know exactly what to do. You would be fully trained with a roadmap and a team of rock stars to help you. You'd be in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And are you interested, wondering how this would work? Well, easier than you think. We are partnering with agents, helping them to execute all the tech stuff that's typically holding them back. We are identifying what's working and what's not working, what things you need to do more of, what things you need to stop doing. The formula is actually really simple. We are going to define with you where you want to be in the next 36 months. Then we are going to reverse engineer a plan for you, what you need to do in the next 90 days in order to get there. Obviously, partnering with someone is a hands-on process, so I think it's best for all of us if we look at your current business and create your plan for free. And then we can all decide if partnering actually makes sense moving forward. If you meet our criteria, here's what we will do. Review your current business and create your personal economic model. We create a lead generation model for you and a marketing plan. Do all the math reverse engineer your goals to get a clear plan for you to hit them, and we review your options to partner, to grow a team, or to expand your business. Now, who is this for? Understand the value of systems and can follow processes. That's really a requirement. Agents who care about the client and the service that they provide. You're committed to learning and growing and want a higher standard of training. You're willing to leverage the power of marketing, lead generation, and building a personal brand, right? And you're not so busy that you can't afford to spend 3 days with me and my team face to face learning the processes and the systems. Now, let me get one thing clear here. I'm not trying to sell you a coaching program. I'm not trying to sell you some lead generation system either. But we'd be delighted to coach and build one for you. What we are offering to do is partner with like-minded agents, help them to grow their business and not charge them a dime for it. If you'd like to know more about that and get the free strategic plan at no cost or any obligation, here's what you do next. Go to callklausin.com. Callklausin.com. Schedule your strategy call with me. Callklausin.com. Now, I told you I want to let you hear from some of our partners. I mentioned some of them in our ad. So here what they have to say. Here, Linda Dale. Linda Dale is from Montgomery County in Pennsylvania. And well, I let her, she had her first deal under contract in 6 days. So I let her talk.
Pleasantly surprised with the quality of the leads that I'm getting from this funnel that we just set up by comparison with Boomtown leads.
Yeah.
Boomtown, we get such a low response. We just dial for hours every single day. And these leads, oh, hey, Linda, I was going to call you today. Oh, thanks for calling me. Or whatever it is, we want to talk about it. I can't even believe the quality of the people when I'm making a connection with them. They like want to talk to me. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Can I share that? Can I share that? Can I
Pleasantly
So here's Melissa Miller. Melissa Miller is Fort Lauderdale, Florida. In the first 2 weeks, she had 212 leads, 5 showings, 2 under contract. And when she talks about having something on the street, that means she already has agreement signed with them, right? So let me tell you what she has to say.
So first of all, so when did you start with this?
Like 2 weeks ago.
2
or
weeks ago.
something. Yeah.
How many leads have you generated in 2 weeks?
Gosh, I think it's 200 something that's in there now.
And
I can tell you right now. Hold on, because I just downloaded the app. I think it's 200 something.
and
Yeah.
and so how many transactions do you have working right now?
So, okay. Oh, 212. And we have 5 on the streets, and we have 2 under contract from
All
this.
right. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Mhm.
And so about how much would you say that you've spent in lead generation? What's your budget? What's your
I'm
daily
just doing
budget?
$10 a day.
That's
I'm doing
insane.
$10 a day.
So
Okay, so here's Jabari McLennan, Austin, Texas. That you see, it's not local, confined to one area. Jabari, I think, new construction funnel, I showed you that. Under contract in the first week. Well, listen to him.
That was the fastest that I got someone under contract from this funnel lead. They seen my ad. So what they seen was this video here. And then she was like, hey, well, is Foxwood available? And here's the thing. So technically, now that I'm thinking about it, this video that I shot in that area, she wanted to go there and check it out. She was looking, so she was looking about essentially 6 to 12 months. And she's now in a contract to close this month.
Got her under contract in less than a month from when she came.
Yeah, the other lady that we closed was from Colorado, California. They're now selling their house. They put a big down payment, and now I'm about to list their house. So that's all from the funnel, by the way. So But I have some people that found me on YouTube, and I didn't even know they found me on YouTube until they walked into my open house that I was having, and I was talking. I was like, "Hey," I was like, "You guys don't leave a little tweak." They was like, "Oh, don't worry, we're not leaving." I said, "Oh, okay." So come to find out, they've been watching my YouTube, and they were like, "Yeah, you're who we want to work with," and we didn't even know you were here. So like, don't worry, we're not going nowhere. So it's working. That would be fast.
Now, in order for transparency, right? Um, Many of those partners, they really had something going in the first or second week. Leads coming in right away. The one thing that has changed over the last few weeks is the timing. We're not able anymore to do that, set everything up in 2-3 days, for the simple fact that the what is it called, the Federal Trade Commission, has put a stop on texting and phone calls and the phone numbers, and those specific phone numbers we need. They now take longer. It can take up to 2 weeks to really get it set up. It doesn't mean we can't get leads going pretty quickly, but the whole follow-up system with texting and voicemail and everything, it can take up to 2 weeks now to be set up, but that's out of our control. That's simply to comply with the Federal Trade Commissions, right? So, but with that, we have that covered too, and we have experts dealing just with that. If you're on your own, you maybe think you get texts out, but they have never been delivered. You don't get them back either. They just go in the atmosphere. So we have that covered. So listen, guys. I offered you a free strategy call. I create a free plan for you. There's no obligations. I mean, I have no expectations. Just set up the call. You can do that on callklausin.com. And then I hope I see you on that call. It will be me, nobody else. So just go to callklausin.com and I'll see you there. Thanks and have a great day.